Hey man,
Hey, how are you?
doing good, man. That's some pretty cool art you got behind you.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's some of my work.
Oh, it's your work?
Yep.
You paint very emotionally.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a good balance of black and color. Like it's a pretty amazing balance. I got my art up on the walls here.
nice.
It was freaking everywhere, all up the ceiling. I got
Wow.
okay. I know it's crappy light, but I do a lot
Nice.
of paintings as well.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't know that you did paintings. I knew you did tattoo.
Yeah, I've been an artist my entire life, and I was painting heavily in Texas back in 2015. And then when I moved here, I kind of just stopped. I guess I lost that emotional passion for it. And that
Hmm.
was kind of one of the reasons why I left Texas. I had a bunch of businesses. I owned a tattoo shop, and it was really, really known. And then I just kind of lost that passion for art because I was too focused on money. And I realized the money consumed me. I bought everything I ever wanted. I seen every country I wanted to see. And I just realized if I don't return back to the art, I'm going to lose it and I'm going to live a life of regret because it's money shouldn't be the answer. So I'm here now, maintaining that art, that passion, and that's where I'm at. I had started recording this right before we started, and I will send this to you for you. This will not be published, so when this talk is done, I'll send it to you after it's uploaded, and you can keep this copy.
Perfect. That's great.
So let's hear about you, man. Why did you want to originally contact me?
Well, I originally heard about you from Alina, good friend of
Hmm.
mine,
Yeah,
and she turned me on to the SSP and started kind of telling me about her experiences. And a lot of her experiences kind of resonated with me, and I just found it to be very interesting. And we went out and we had some close encounter contact experiences kind of out in the desert. And so things kind of started escalating pretty quickly, and we developed a pretty good friendship. So I started watching your videos um, ever since I moved to North Carolina. This has been a couple of months now, so I've been deep diving into reading them, like just kind of figuring out what what you know and like what's in your head. And I just felt like a really big connection to you. And then what I was doing with Alina was trying to figure out what was going on in my past lives because there's been a big theme in my life of this injury that I got right when I graduated college that I haven't been able to like get over. This like crippling injury that's just been this bizarre combination of different symptoms and different things that could never really put my finger on like why it was happening or how to fix it. And it was just kind of this really elusive thing that gave me a lot of very big distrust of the medical system, you know? And it
well,
was
the
just
same.
something, yeah, it was just something I just kind of dealt with, you know? And it it was just from an injury where somebody like playing basketball, they kind of landed on this part of my neck. But we don't have to go into too much detail,
Is this kind of upper shoulder neck or just lower neck only?
like neck shoulder area.
Would you say when this injury originally happened, were you going through some financial situations where you felt like you had the weight of the world literally on your shoulders? Like maybe you were the sole person responsible for your family or for finances or some kind of financial burden?
Well, I had just graduated college. I didn't have a job. I ran my own business and I helped start festival grounds and I was a promoter and I was doing all kinds of stuff in the music industry. But I was in Ithaca, New York, which is a pretty tiny town. So it's pretty hard to make like a full-time.
That sounds like maybe that was one of the main things you would think about the most. So this
Mhm.
is what we found with QHHT. We found out that everybody's injuries are consistent with a metaphysical cause, and there are hardly any circumstances outside of karma where you're having to experience this because you may have hurt somebody in that way. It could be an entity attachment where if you have a reoccurring pain, an entity will literally go inside your light body and they will use that as like a center for getting some kind of emotion for you. It'll manifest as physical pain. But usually reoccurring things, we can diagnose people simply by their story. If you're going through issues with you had hips, knees, and ankle issues on a regular basis, that would show you that you're sitting in a toxic situation you feel you can't leave from. You know what I'm saying? I say this in interviews all the time. It's like you feel you're stuck in a job, or you're stuck in a place you can't escape from because you have a lease, or you can't, you know what I'm saying? You literally can't leave it. It can be relationship wise. It could be a toxic relationship. It can be a relationship where you're complacent and you would rather stay because you're comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So any part of your body is easily diagnosed. And I always ask somebody, what was going on in your life right before the injury occurred? And then if it's reoccurring, what happened? What was your thought process right before it reemerged again? Are you still trapped under the weight of that situation? And you'll realize it's timed with it every freaking time. So it's pretty amazing. Like, I don't have to do that kind of hypnosis on you to diagnose injuries because I can tell you what's going on. And if
Mm-hmm.
that matches what's going on in your life, what are the odds?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it moved everywhere. It moved into like crippling me basically for 3 years. I was bedridden from it, but I never hurt my neck, which was weird. It was never like my neck and shoulders. It came down to my nerves and in my like the bottom of my like vertebrae, and it created all these issues with movement and being able to move. And
That small town where you stuck, were you in a situation where you financially you couldn't leave yet?
no, I was kind of on top of the world. I was like kind of famous, and I was like every year was the best year of my life. Like it was incredible.
Did Alina, you said she helped you with a session. Did she find the source of that?
No, but I did. I I tied it back to my childhood and when I continuously was getting like these possession dreams and these astral attacks and all these like night terrors and where my body would freeze and I'd be screaming and I would have all these like visions and just really wild stuff happening in the house where I grew up. I tied it into having entities attached to me. Um,
That's cover for abduction.
yeah, this is what I think.
All, like everything you sent me, it's like I said, I told you it's a check mark for this, a check mark for this. Having a gray higher self is very suspicious. Like you don't really see that unless it's on assets. And like a lot
Mhm.
of the stuff you told me, it seems like you're definitely an asset.
Yeah.
Because if you're a creator and you're a blueprinter as well, like they will target you to the max. You're identified the moment you enter the lotus field. That's what they call the matrix. It's basically imagine the scenario of like your light body going into a box, and that box scans everything about you that's ever existed. It shows your past lives, your future lives, all your lives all at once, what you're capable of, what your powers are, what you will do to uncover the truth or help take down the matrix. They identify all that. They even identify the purpose of you coming if you were an infiltrator. Typically, people like us were infiltrators. We infiltrate the matrix to uncover the truth and to uncover the lies, to show people the truth, to take the system down almost like a virus. So we contain the original backdoor codes because we helped create it. So we are the programmers of the program. So that means we are natural portal jumpers because portals is just like a neural synapse, like a gateway. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
Mhm.
it's just like a large brain. That's what source is. It's these individual neurons located in like what you would call empty space, but it's not empty. And each neuron is a sun. And if you follow each sun is a portal. And each sun connects like veins. And they call it the Laniakea supercluster. It's like a nerve cluster of God. We are located within God and we are God. You know what I'm saying? We're
Mhm.
not separate from God. Everything is God. This computer, you're looking at the screen, none of this is even real. None of it even exists. Even the chair you're sitting on, like I say in the interviews, this is what we're here to uncover. And they basically hijacked it, created this death trap in this video game we call the Matrix. And they're keeping it where every time we want to stop playing the game, they force us back to play it on Earth over and over and over again. So again, the blueprinters, we contain all the codes to how to escape it and how to deactivate all their codes because no coding can exist within another programmer's creation that was not already created. Does that make sense?
Can you say it again? No coding what?
No coding can exist within a matrix that wasn't already created in the first place. So
Gotcha.
all probability, all past, present, and future. If you're married in this life, you're also living a life simultaneously where you're not married. If you're straight in this life, you're also living the exact same life with different variations of art, but you're gay.
Mm.
Same variations, but you're a woman. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's everything. They could scan all that when you enter the lotus field. So they target us to the max. So more than likely, you're definitely an asset. Highly likely, you're part of the secret space program because creators, architects, they're referred to as architects.
Mm.
Architects help create the blueprints, and then we give those blueprints to the creators of the physicalness. Like we come up with the ideas, we manifest it, they put it into place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like we're the orchestrator of the symphony, they're playing the music
Yeah.
while we command them and build the cities and stuff. We're using their music and our own music to create a symphony. And that symphony is creation in the physical.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
So you said you were in the height of everything. You had achieved a lot of the things you wanted to achieve, and then suddenly you got cut down like a fucking tree. That's targeting.
Yeah.
You might have been achieving financial means to leave your area and have better opportunities, or to lubricate the pockets of the people you needed to talk to, because we both know if you offer people money, you can talk to anybody. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? You can fly to their state. You can go to an event they're speaking at. You can say, hey, send them an email. How much does 3 hours of your time in person? What do you charge for that? If so, can I meet up with you? If your fee's $5,000, I will give you $5,000. I have an idea I want to throw, I want you to hear. That's
Hmm.
what money does. So people like us, if we get the money, we can achieve so many things because do you see the number 22 a lot?
Not that I could think of. Not like
Do you pay
overly.
attention to numerical synchronicities in your environment?
Yeah.
Do you get synchronicities on a regular basis, like new numbers?
Yeah.
What are your numbers?
11, 11, 33. I get those all very often. 333, 33, 11, 11.
Would you say that you're more awake than you've ever been? Like maybe this is the beginning for you of kind of realizing this, because
Yeah.
1111 is a beginner number. That means you've now achieved the minimum threshold of awakening to now know the higher truths. So like now your journey is truly starting now. And your higher self is showing you you fucking did it. Welcome to the fucking cool club, because people that don't see 1111, they're not searching for a higher power. They're not wanting to know what creation actually is. They don't give a fuck. They only care about drama and the fucking Kardashians. You know what I'm saying? They
Hmm.
want to know about drama and TV reality, and like it's very disconnecting for people like us. We're people of substance. The art you create, you're very emotional. You can't create shit like that without being emotional, without telling a story to yourself. Or you look into that art and you remember something about yourself. You remember a feeling stored in that and what you were thinking about when you created that shit. That's power. That's what art is. And that's what a
Hmm.
creator is. And creators are fucking dangerous because they wake people up through their art, through
Yeah.
symbolism, through their
Hmm.
voice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would say that this in the last 2 years has been like a major awakening where everything that I believed in the past, it kind of like fused with all the ideas of extraterrestrials and UFOs, which for some reason I never really delved into. Like I've always been into all the different types of conspiracies and just looking deeper into everything with government or like all checked all the boxes for being in that world, but for some reason I just kind of skipped over the UFO extraterrestrial part until they started like showing, until I started seeing them constantly around the same time that this injury came back in a really horrible way that crippled me again. And I like had to do everything to fix it. Like I just,
So, one of the main reasons, if you're distracted with money and success and fame, is you forgot to see the small things in life and the signs that your higher self is showing you and your soul family, like these extraterrestrials. So, another side effect of an injury is they're sick and tired of you running around so much. You're too distracted. You're mentally focused on other shit other than your own soul evolution. And they injure you to the point where you're forced to only have thoughts with no distractions, no money, no pretty distractions. You know what that's like. And you go inside your mind, you go inside to the computer, you start searching for the first time in your life.
Hmm.
So I bet if you was to have that session, more than likely it was arranged in order to engineer your awakening. And since you were too freaking hard-headed to see the signs,
Yep.
it was they needed to make extreme because they may have given you warnings. They may have given you the neck pains or the financial part of it, and it would be in your back. Lower back, middle back, upper back means different things.
Hmm.
So you would have got the signs in advance. And if you didn't listen, because physical injuries is a physical sign from my higher self, it's a desperate attempt to get you by the throat and say, hey, fucking Matt, slow the fuck down and look at your text messages I keep sending you. You're not checking your messages. You forget I freaking exist.
Yeah, I
So
think
would
that's
you
pretty
say
accurate.
that that kind of started your awakening, that that was the beginning?
I would say that that's probably very accurate to what was going
What are
on.
the odds? Think
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
So that may have been a form of punishment for you, but truly, Matt, that was the entry fee into greatness, man.
Hmm.
To figure out who the hell you are. Because again, success, real success, that distractive, ego driven, wanting to be important, wanting to be noticed, that's not who creators really are. We don't give a fuck about people's opinions. We don't need to be propped up. We can be like Batman operating behind the scenes, saving people's lives, and it's on TV, but we still won't even tell the closest people or a single person that we did it because that's who we are. We don't need the accolades. We're beyond that. Creators are above the egotistical lower dimensions. People like
Hmm.
us, we started on the first, went all the way to the highest dimension, achieved that rank, that general title, and then we went back down to the third dimension pretending to be a regular non-godlike human being.
Hmm. Yep.
And we forgot that we're godlike human beings and we can change the fucking matrix.
I
So I was to remind you that you can change the matrix.
I had somebody else tell me the same thing that you were just telling me about how that it was happening to me because I wasn't listening and I wasn't slowing down and that I was supposed to leave LA and that they were almost like making me lose all my money and all my gigs and and torturing me physically because I'm not getting the message that I need to leave LA and I need to come to North Carolina. That's what somebody else told me.
You got to realize, man, LA has extreme targeting, especially for assets. Like
Hmm.
celebrities, a lot of them are created by Monarch. They're engineered as little kids. They go through trauma-based mind control. They're raped and they're groomed to be a future breakout star. And it starts in childhood. You'll see that a lot of these famous celebrities, they had nothing but trauma in their life growing up. A lot of them were raped. A lot of them were part of cults. You're seeing this with a lot of A-list people, and they're talking about it, like the whole Diddy thing. Pardon me. But everybody's basically coming out now and saying that there's this dark curtain that exists in Hollywood. And the truth is it's full of pedophilia. It's full of raping A-list celebrities. It's full of homosexuality that's required to be an actor. Like, how many actors are admitting this now? How many actors do you know that you actually worked with that you can detect they're actually homosexual behind the scenes and they have to act as if they're straight? That's part of the inversion and symbolism in these groups. And they're basically like groomed Manchurian candidates, man, where
Hmm.
they're it's basically like worshiping false idols. You know, at the Anunnaki run Hollywood, they created Hollywood. That's why at Kodak Theater they put the entire Anunnaki symbolism everywhere. And that's why they do the was it the Grammy Awards, the Oscars there.
Hmm.
Like the red carpet. The red carpet is symbolizing everybody they had to kill and murder and the blood flowing. That's why other celebrities are not allowed to walk on the red carpet. You have to be in that cool club because that is the religion of the Anunnaki. And that's why all presidents but one since 1776, a little girl named Brigitte de Sevignon found out that they're all cousins. Every president but one are all connected to the Anunnaki.
Hmm.
So this is what we're here to uncover. You know, I've been studying the Anunnaki for 28 years, maybe, man. and like I'm directly connected with them, you know, like their story, they're some pretty evil people. And what they did to humans, like they modified us genetically around 200,000 years ago, and they removed like 10 strands of our DNA and shortened our lifespan to like 70 years old. Before that, it was like 930 years, 950 years, you know?
Hmm.
So, like, again, we're the badasses of the galaxies because we help create these galaxies. So, you're definitely in the programs, man. There's no fucking doubt about it.
Really?
Psychically, I know you are. You don't need an Akashic record reading to verify that shit. Like, I'm just saying, I can look into your eyes right now and I can connect with you and know it.
Yeah. I mean, it seems pretty obvious it's yes to me, but I have no memories or no way to prove it. So it's like this thing where I'm like, what is the deal? You
Less
know?
than 3 to 5% of all assets on Earth wake up. And that's just not on Earth. They're running these monarch trauma-based mind control programs on a lot of the planets in this solar system and in our galaxy. This is a normal thing they do. Like you've heard of death traps.
Yep.
So you understand that this is a real phenomenon and like
Yep.
it's been remote viewed. The Sumerian tablets even say it exists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not just on Earth. They have these death traps on all the planets. So imagine that God's natural organic creation was taken over that me and you helped co-create. And then this evil code came in the program and started injecting viruses that allowed them to go through the back doors that we created. And then they took the creators, removed our memory of it, and kept us cycled in our own creation. That's why we can see the codes. We can identify the anomalies. We are the anomaly hunters and identifiers because we created all this code, especially in patterns and numbers. I've been awakened for a long time, and man, and like the compute this simulation was ones and zeros. That's all of our geometry, and the secret to this universe is it's encoded in a hexagon lattice. It's not just like a tesseract. Okay, let's call it a tesseract. A tesseract is a cube, and the hexagon forms the square tesseract. So my bad. I'm glad I said that to you because I needed to know that. So that's the symbol of the AI matrix, not the original organic God created one. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Are you talking about Saturn's cube?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the transmission that is actually causing the hexagon shape on Saturn's north pole,
Hmm.
it's a frequency being produced by the planet, by the bad guys. And
Yeah.
that frequency is being sent and picked up from our moon, and then our moon beams it to Earth. That's
Hmm.
why it's tidally locked. They need it to be unidirectionally. They can't send a transmission in and then spin it because it's going to hit everything. So they need it to come in as a node, and that node is aimed at the core. So when it spins, it hits everything.
Yep.
And that allows them to create all the tides and all that shit, which is basically science. But no doubt about it, man, you're definitely programs. Like if you can somehow get where I can do an in-person session on you, man, I can activate your third eye and I can show you all this yourself. Your higher
Yeah.
self will show it to you and maybe identify if these gray higher self is actually a handler because psychically I get that this gray is a handler and it is not there to help you. And
Mm.
maybe asking Alina to do other modalities was cloaked in both good and bad, meaning that the session it
Or it wasn't
produced
Alina, it was a different person.
okay.
Yeah.
The session produced fruit, but it also prevented you from accessing other information because perhaps the mixture of modalities. That you understand that?
Hmm.
So you have to understand that if you have a handler, they're not allowed to let you wake up. They're the
Yeah.
ones a lot of times torturing you and giving these horrific dreams, and they're in your room with you on a
Yeah.
regular basis. Like they stay by your side constantly. And in the
Yeah.
sessions we see this right when your third eye opens, it gives you ability to see the handlers, to see the grays and whatever other beings are in the room. It's pretty awesome stuff, man. It's unlimited realms.
Yeah. When I found out that it was a tall gray, I immediately felt this like little bit of sense of doom. I was like, I didn't feel good about it. I was
So
like,
you trusted that feeling. If it was a good feeling and it was someone trying to help you, you would get a loving feeling. But
yeah,
psychically, the first feeling you got was submission and tucking your tail and feeling like this doesn't sound good to me. even
Yeah.
though the Akashic Records reader that session is saying, this is a good guy.
Yeah.
You don't realize that they puppeteer Akashic Record readers and some of these practitioners that don't know that they're even being puppeteered or that there's handlers in the room giving them thoughts. So what I specialize is I when I put someone under that's in the programs, I first identify that they're in the program, and then I start having them identify handlers. And if let's say if I suspect that I'm not talking to your higher self when I brought your higher self forward, if I suspect that it's a handler, I will order them up through time and space and make them physically talk through their mouth. And this is not taught in QHHT. The kind of shit I'm doing is not what a lot of people's doing. I have such unique skill sets by being in these programs since I was a child and having this brain injury in 2005 when I hit a wall on my motorcycle doing 120. It turned me into a polymath. So this started unlocking memories. So I started seeing and remembering how they programmed us. So I use the own programming against them and wake people up by reversing the programming. Because naturally, people like you and me are programmers.
Mm.
So imagine if you went down that rabbit hole, you confirmed you were an asset, you wanted to learn these things, you should become a QHHT practitioner. If
Yeah.
you want to really know about yourself, start putting people under. You're allowed to ask questions yourself. You will learn so much about yourself, man. It will blow your fucking mind.
Yeah. I've been
And you'll
wanting to
feel
do
like
that.
QHHT, if you feel the call to do it, man, you got to do it because we have to light as many candles as we can before we pass, man, because creators, they have us here for a limited time only. They keep us with a life of trauma, bad relationships, shit that is unfulfilled, people making you promises to better your career and then it just doesn't pay out at all out of nowhere, just person after person. See, you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking
Oh
about.
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's them doing it.
Yeah, no.
They send in people to give you false hope, and then you invest all that emotional energy. And then once they activate that handler and says it's not going to happen, or you get angry with each other, it becomes emotional, a shitty kind of split of kind. It was always designed to happen.
Yeah, you can see the pattern. It's uncanny, and it's just how do you break the pattern of being manipulated and like financially just ripped apart through intentionally through these tactics, you know?
Start becoming the questionnaire. You can ask unlimited questions. Instead of relying on other people, you can now rely on yourself. When you start doing QHHT, you got to do a bunch of free sessions. Use those sessions to explore your friend or your client and explore yourself because you're allowed to ask questions about yourself if you want. Normal sessions that I do, I never ask about myself because it's not about me, it's about the client. If we've served together and we identify that we're in the same programs or we know each other in the programs, sure, we'll get some history on it. I'll have your higher self show it to you. I'm like, I want you to show Matt those experiences now.
Mhm.
And I'll say, I want you to narrate what Matt is actually seeing. And your higher self will speak in third person. It will not be Matt. Matt, like imagine Drago here. Imagine Drago steps to the side right here. My higher self comes up and it's speaking directly. It calls me by name. It calls me he. You know what I'm saying? It
Mhm.
is amazing. So there's no limitations for QHHT. So if you're desperate to get the real answers, man, you got to be a QHHT practitioner. And it's not even expensive like college, man. It'll blow you away how cheap it is once you figure out how much it is.
Yeah. Like
And like
like $1,000, right? I
you can
don't know.
start to get into level one with $1,000.
Mhm.
And that means you do so many sessions and then you submit them, you get all that work, you get all that practice, you start getting good and you go up to the higher levels. Like I'm about to submit my paperwork for level three. Technically, I was I'm bad with small words. I was qualified to submit level three status more than 6 years ago, but I chose not to
Mhm.
because I wanted to protect my work. I needed to record years of material first because through QHHT, I was shown my future. And it kind of freaked me out because it showed me that I had a podcast with Laura Eisenhower It showed me that I started talking about my secret space program experiences. It showed me how big I got, but it also showed me the attacks and how it would affect me mentally. Imagine you getting shown all this all at once.
Mm.
And it felt like a burden because it's like watching everything you're going to experience in the future until death in a cliff form. But then knowing that's true, it comes with a weight. And then suddenly everything I was shown started happening one after another. Everything I was shown. Started a podcast with Laura Eisenhower. It was her idea. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah.
Like, just the thing is, you can learn this yourself with QHHT. So I can show you your future because your higher self is going to say, Matt needs to do these things. He needs to remove these obstacles and barriers that he knows he's doing, or he knows he's in the situation that can be better. This is what I recommend for Matt. If you do that, I'll say, okay, I want you to show him his life 3 years from now if he steps into this truth. I want you to show him that now. You're going to start seeing it. Usually I get an emotional reaction. A lot of times you see people just smile. Sometimes people start crying, happy crying with a smile and like a kind of contentment you haven't had in probably your entire life.
During the session.
Yeah, it is amazing, man.
Hmm.
So again, like there's no limitations. You can identify handlers. You can identify remote viewers that are remote viewing you. You can identify every past life you've ever lived. You can be shown every past life or future life, or because all lives are parallel. There's no really such thing as a future or a past life because time is not linear. It's not point A to point B. All time exists at the same time in the cube tesseract. So past, present, and future are happening right now. So Matt is also living a life in the 1800s right now. Matt can possibly also be living a life 33,000 BC on Earth right now at the same time. It's kind of like in the movie Interstellar. You've seen Interstellar?
Mm.
Watch it, man. Really good. It might activate you. I would definitely recommend it. If you're SSP, it might activate you. So I always tell people, write down what your trauma and triggers are. Put them on a piece of paper, put the worst at the top. If you want to activate your memories, face your traumas directly. We're conditioned to take our traumas, put them in a closet, lock it, burn the key. No way back in that door. That is not recommended.
Yeah.
Is what happens is you got to keep reliving that lifetime after lifetime until you get it right. It's like a video game. We designed this video game. It's based on levels. You start with the first level, you have a bad guy you got to defeat at the end of that first level. You get unlimited tries. If you die during that, you can't defeat the level, you start the level over again. No judgments. Everybody goes at their own pace, just like a video game. Eventually, you get to the point where you either beat the bad guy at level one or you give up and you just abandon the idea and you get caught in a loop. The loop never ends. You meet the same boss, the same shitty asshole over and over and over, the same obstacles over and over and over, and the grass is not greener on the other side. Because remember, the center of the universe is right here. And I mean, take your finger right now and do this right in front of your head. There's no difference between your finger and my finger and your finger right there. You can put it down now. That's the center of the universe. If you're alive in the matrix, that's the center of the universe. So there is no distance. That's how we can time travel within the matrix of past, present, and future because they're all happening at the same time. Time travel is basically taking your consciousness awareness, knowing that you exist in 2025 on planet Earth. And then you can change your consciousness awareness to another time and place on Earth or another planet, and you can go there because it's happening right now. Like you're a child right now on a bicycle learning how to ride. You're also being born at this same moment, baby Matthew, if that's your full name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're also dying right now on your deathbed. You're also having your first marriage and your first heartbreak, all happening right now. So if you do something in the future of your lifetime, like now, You can create karma that creates what happened to you in childhood that you perceive as the past. But the reason why you had to experience that trauma is because what you just did just now or last week. So the future, the current, and the past are influenced by our superposition of our thought. So the past creates the future, and the future creates the past.
Hmm.
That's how this matrix operates. But you know that on a fundamental level. You just can't remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the I've been watching all the shows. I've been deep diving, and that's the part that I'm trying to wrap my head around. Like I get it, but I don't fully get it yet.
It'll come, man. Like remember, this is just the beginning of your awakening with the 1111.
Hmm.
Once you start getting 22s, it's going to show you that you're a master builder. Because if you're a creator, you help create these blueprints, you're a builder. You build it physically in your mind and then it manifests into matter. It has to be a waveform and a thought before a thought can become matter. And that's where the double slit experiment comes from. So it's like the Schrodinger's cat, the cat in the box theory. The cat is both dead and alive at the same time because you have to have both choices. You have to have left and right, male and female, both dead and alive. So depending on the consciousness observing it, it is both dead and alive. Kind of like the Mandela effect. Everybody argues that you're familiar with the Mandela effect, right?
The Mandela effect. No, I know it, but I'm not like recalling right now what it is.
It originally came from when Nelson Mandela went to prison in Africa.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Remember
yeah,
all that?
yeah, yeah.
In your
Yeah.
timeline, what happened to Nelson Mandela from your memories?
I remember him being in jail and dying, like he was dead.
Okay, did you know there's three scenarios of what happened that are all true? Everybody argues saying, no, that's bullshit. I watched Mandela be released from prison, and then somebody shot him in the face and killed him the moment he was released from prison. The other timeline people argue about is that he was released from prison and he became the president of Africa.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, there was. I thought he was dead, and then my cousin actually started working with him. I'm like, I thought he was dead.
Okay, so that let us know that. Have you seen the animation Wreck-It Ralph?
No.
You got to watch it, man. It's the perfect analogy of another video game going through an electrical cord,
Mm.
entering the electrical grid, and then entering a plug connected to another video game and inserting themselves as God in that video game, then taking control of the video game. It is amazing. That's what they really made that movie for. It's called Wreck-It Ralph. It'll blow you away.
Wreck-It
That's
Ralph.
what that's what they did. That's what the Anunnaki and the Draconians did.
Yeah.
They entered they put a matrix over a matrix,
Yep.
which is inserting another layer of code, but
Yeah.
hijacking something that was already created. Because you have to understand, God is non-physical, period. Anything you observe as physical is all an illusion. It doesn't actually exist. There's only the mind. There's only electricity. So when we're in our light bodies, you see them in the sky. You've seen them. They're orbs of light, right?
Oh yeah.
That's what you really are outside of your physical body. You're an orb of light. So if you start doing QHHT, you'll find out you have to take people to the day of their death. Not in this lifetime. If you're showing them a past life or a future life, you take them through three scenes, important scenes that impacted them, that made them who they are. And every scene that happened to them in that past or future life, it explains who you are in the here and now in this life. And your higher self is showing you these specific lives because it's going to answer the what, why, the how, and the when. And you're going to understand it all connects. It's a continuation of another life that you didn't get right. And it's also part of the trap. So, like reincarnation is part of the death trap. where you try to escape samsara. That's what the Vedic Indians called it. And when they were
Mhm.
writing it about in the Mahabharata and the Vedas and all that other stuff, where they was talking about Vimanas in the sky and god wars and lasers and like extraterrestrial battles. So we've known about this since the beginning, but we're caught in samsara. We're forced in this forced reincarnation trap that the bad guys put out, and we forgot that we put ourselves in this death trap to wake everybody up, but we fucking forgot because our memory was wiped. And they tell all of our ET family, if they come into the Matrix, you have to be careful because if they shoot you down and they capture you, you are stuck in the reincarnation trap. And you hear this all the time. These ET families, they said, we're here to rescue our family that got lost here a long time ago. They're here to find their family members that's been stuck here for maybe 75,000 years, 500,000 years, stuck in a reincarnation trap over and over and over. Man, that's insane.
Mhm.
So that's why we see more of them in the sky now more than ever. If you're seeing them, that means your vibration has changed where you can see them. Because if you haven't seen them your whole life, it's not like that they weren't there. You weren't frequency based. You were not frequency signature matched in order to see it. Your code was not accessing it yet because your vibration was more about maybe money or ego or accumulation of something.
Mhm.
And then when you shed that, you get more spiritual based. You start searching up. It's like we got the first dimension, second dimension, third dimension. First is like the minerals, like earth, fire, wind, water, and physical crystals and stuff like that's the first dimension. Second dimension is plants and animals. And the way it works with plants is you're rooted first, then you become a choice where you want to explore and not be confined. So you're allowed to become a seed or a flying plant, like a suck, those little Florida air plants and they just blow everywhere.
Mhm.
Could become a traveling plant where you can experience life and be blown everywhere by source and experience what it's like to be everywhere and experience things. Then you become an animal. And when you get to the point where the animal starts realizing that it's an individual, like how dogs, they don't understand that they're an individual and you try to feed them treats and they all want a treat, but then if you give one a treat, the other dog might get jealous.
Mhm.
If that animal chooses to start realizing that it is an individual and it wants to choose its heart versus its programming to just want out of jealousy to fight, it can then start searching up for God. Then it becomes a human. So we've done all that. And that's what this is. It's a multifaceted and layered video game for educational purposes and for entertainment purposes. This is how we, as light based beings, experience love, loss, physical sensations, pornography, amazing food, skydiving, scuba diving, the Great Barrier Reef. We cannot get that unless we're in the Matrix.
Yeah.
So we create the experiences for other beings like us.
Do you think that the bigger plan of the blueprint of all this Matrix included the Anunnaki being part of this
Not
good
originally.
versus evil?
No,
No,
it was hijacked.
definitely. Definitely not part of the plan.
When the Draconians came in, when they had the first Lyran Wars, I was there on Lyra when they invaded. And I've said this 1,000 times in all the presentations I do. You've heard of the Farsight Institute?
Yeah.
Did you ever hear me say that Yemi Janae was the queen of Lyra when the Draconians invaded?
I don't remember that name.
Yemi
Yime-
Janae
Yimejine.
is the black woman that runs the Farsight Institute with Dr. Courtney Brown. She's their
Oh, okay.
main remote viewer.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
She was the queen of Lyra when they first invaded.
Oh, okay.
If you ever get into this, get into remote viewing. Learn
Mhm.
how to remote view. You can see this. It's been proved with all the remote viewers. Not only was I there in Lyra, I was also on the royal court with Yemi. I was her right hand man. I was the mage. I was the vizier. I was in charge of the entire planet's harmonics in the grid. And we controlled this through my crystal array called the Va Tarnak crystal array. The Draconians were after my crystal array. because you can weaponize it. You can explode entire planets. You can do all kinds of stuff with this crystal array because you can reprogram it. And during that, I had to sacrifice my life and blow up the crystal array and allow Yumi to escape. And that's when we started going to these other planets. We went to Sirius. We went to all these different outposts to escape the Draconians.
Hmm.
And this is where we get all the ET bodies from. A lot of the bodies that's not from this galaxy, that was a byproduct of terraforming and being on other planets that were not created for cat and feline beings because most of the beings on Lyra were cat-like. And when we went to these other planets, it started changing our physiology depending on where you went. Some of us became grays, some of us became Syrians, some of us became aquatic, like Andromeda. Because like the universe that I'm from before this universe is a newer universe, even though that all the future and all the other universes, they all exist all in one sphere. Like I said, everything is a torus field. So your light body is a torus field. The earth is a torus field. That's why it's cylindrical in shape, and that's why it cannot be flat. All these fucking flat earthers, it violates all physics. It's not possible to be flat, even though if it's a programming plane, sure, it is flat in the first dimension because you don't have second and third dimensions of height, weight, width, and length yet. So, yes, the lowest dimension is flat because there is no perception of any other dimension, if that makes sense to you.
Hmm.
So, the higher you go up in dimension, the higher and more complicated the geometries. And depending on that universe's geometry shape, it produces very specific conditions of that creation. So, like I said, we're caught in this tesseract square hexagon. And this is for duality. It's so you have to experience good and evil, bad and good, light and dark, male and female, left and right, up and down, all that shit. And we got forced here, and a lot of us that are the bad boys, the ones that are waking people up in the universal governments on all the planets around the every through existence. They target us and they put us here on Earth to punish us. Earth used to be a school, now it's a dumping ground and prison. So they're putting a lot of the artists, a lot of the political people that would be speaking against the bad guys ruling. We're all thrown here and they take away our memories.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're meeting another creator is not, it's a small world, man. You are around literally the most powerful beings in existence because the bad guys used it as a prison. So all the major good guys are all here at once.
Do you think most of them are awake?
Most of them are asleep because it's almost impossible to wake up from this programming code of being in the matrix. Like nothing is literally real. Nothing is real. I know this, that everything about me and my body and everything I look at and everybody I love is an illusion. It
Yeah.
doesn't even exist. It's part of a program. That's why when you die, you see your loved ones, you see the animals you lost and all that shit. It's not even real. It's a fucking AI program.
Yeah.
And once you follow them, you see the white light. The white light sucks you in, zaps your fucking memory in your body with so much electricity that you don't even know who you are. And your guides appear and say, well, you didn't get this life, that you didn't do what you originally agreed to, and like we're showing you this one part of your life where you didn't quite get it right, or this relationship didn't act like you said you would do this, so that they make you agree to come right back. And it's all part of an AI program.
Yeah.
So every time I've ever done a session on somebody, when they died, not a single time has anyone ever seen a light. Not one time. I find that very suspicious. And it took me learning QHHT to start seeing the truth in everything. Because remember, we're pattern based. Creation is based on patterns. You can't create an entire desert without having a pattern of how you place rocks or how mountains form. It's all a part of your signature with how it works. You see it, how you're leaving your own signature and blueprint in your own creation. So you have these patterns. So we see the patterns that other people can't see.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that makes us dangerous because we start waking other people up, because we start passing our own programming code of being awake to every person we talk to. And it starts waking them up. It's like we're inserting a virus into them, and it causes them to inadvertently wake up or see you as fucking crazy. But then 10 years from now, a lot of the stuff you told them that was reality, they start seeing it's true. They start seeing that everybody's talking about it now. They're starting to watch YouTube videos that beyond proves it's true. They're seeing now it's talked about in medical journals, physicists are talking about it. And then that one crazy guy that said, all this is all this is an illusion and this is real. And you're like, you're crazy. And now that crazy guy becomes one of the smartest people in the world to you. Sometimes it takes time. But
Yep.
again, it's like you're not seeing the patterns. Remember, they had to immobilize you, period, in your bed for you to start the process of your awakening in the first place.
Yeah. It happened to me in a 20-acre ranch on top of the Santa Monica Mountains in Malibu, like totally off the grid by myself, like hanging out with the bobcats and mountain lions, like full retreat to nature is where all that occurred. It was just, I think I had to get away from everything, like all the waves,
That's the thing.
everything.
You got to realize the farther you away or the closer you are to nature, the farther you are away from technology. You'll see that the electrical grid in a place like that is completely different from city. There's
No cell phone
frequency.
service. We turned
Exactly.
Starlink off, everything,
That's my
nothing.
point. So you're limiting yourself at all the frequencies, the ultra high frequencies, ultra low frequencies that you're just bombarded with on a daily basis. Like I would recommend for you when you go to sleep at night, turn off the modem. Period. Turn off your modem and put your cell phone on airplane mode. And if you really want to know if you're being hijacked, get an old school alarm clock. Put it in your room. Use that. Keep your cell phone in a completely different place. In airplane mode, turn off the modem, turn off the Wi Fi. Try it, see what happens.
Hmm.
That's the secret because a lot of the programming they're doing, they're bouncing it off the carrier waves off your fucking cell phone, and it's usually located within 3 to 5 feet of your head when you
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah, that's essentially what happened when I was in Malibu when I got my awakening, because I would turn off Starlink and there would be no cell phone service, not even like you couldn't even get it naturally without Wi-Fi. Everything was gone. Then everything just changed.
You see how that works? So now you're realizing the pattern now. You have that happen to you, and I just affirmed it for you, which is a confirmation that this is indeed a pattern.
Hmm.
So that I believe is one of the keys to your awakening. Remove the technology, remove any way that they can bounce frequencies off you if you have to. Get an EMF blocker cap and put it on when you sleep. It's like a thin beanie, you wear it around your skull. Wear that when you sleep. You know why they outlawed lead paint? Lead
Hmm.
paint, when they started developing these new DARPA technologies, they started realizing that lead blocks all the electromagnetic transmissions of all their programming signals into houses. So then they said lead is toxic and get rid of lead paint because lead paint creates a Faraday cage.
Ah,
So I
really?
believe in the future, you're going to see that people are going to start talking that work for the CIA that says they paint lead paint on their house walls to block the EMF frequencies. And they only have a specific room set up in their house to receive EMF or wireless so they can get internet if they want. But it's only available in one place on one section of the house, and everything else is blocked off from all EMF radiation,
Hmm.
including the ceiling,
Yeah.
the roof.
Okay.
Imagine that you just blocked a large percentage of the technology they're used to keep you asleep. Imagine what happened if you do even a small percentage of what I asked you to do. I
Hmm.
promise you will start noticing shit.
Yeah. I mean, things have been escalating. There's a lot of stuff happening.
And the
So,
more you waken up, the more you're starting to get aha moments, the more they're going to send people after you.
Hmm.
Relationship problems, financial issues. If you have kids, something might start happening to your kids that's drama based. It
Yeah, no
starts
kidding.
taking a lot of your time. You're going to notice because it's going to be something that's going to make you feel emotionally like shit.
Yeah.
Like you feel overwhelmed, you're sick and tired of something, you don't want that drama. If that's happening, they're targeting you. It's simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I've been diving deep into the psychic attacks and understanding how it works and getting rid of getting rid of it as soon as he gets in there. It's like pop it out. And it's been almost 2 years where I've gotten rid of the anxiety and like the weird. It was always something where I couldn't explain it. I'm like, where is this coming from? Why is this happening? It doesn't make any sense.
If you feel that, those thoughts you're having are not yours.
Yeah.
They're on
Yeah.
V2K carrier waves. So they're sending there's somebody at a terminal somewhere. It could be at Langley, it could be in some deep underground military base, and they're typing what they want you to think is your own thought into a terminal, and it sends through the V2K.
Yeah.
And
It's
it
like getting ridiculous now. It's like obvious almost.
so if you've told yourself, I would never think that, I would never say that about somebody like that, I would never think that feeling, it's not yours.
Yeah. Oh, there was actually an incident recently where I felt like I said something that didn't make any sense to a person that I was working with on a huge production at EDC.
I
That was
fucking
like,
love EDC, man.
yeah, well, we did like a huge thing there, and I was a production coordinator for one of the biggest builds there, and like I said something really bizarre to the production manager, and it was like somebody would like took control of my like voice and just started saying something really weird, and I was like, what? Like,
It's
where
happened
did
to me
that
a
come
few
from?
times. It's happened to me. I've caught myself. I'm like, I would never say
I
that.
would never say that. It didn't like I don't know if that's possible
In
because
the
I know they
moment the
keep that
sentence
in.
ends, you're like, you pause, you're like, what the fuck just came out of my mouth? I do
Yeah,
not agree with what I just said. I would never think that. Like, what the
yeah,
fuck? And you can't make sense of it.
yeah. And I think it like low key kind of ruined my relationship with that person. But I'm like, I would never have said that. As I was saying it, it was like I
That's
had
the
no
key.
control.
Maybe that relationship is what you needed to build your career. Maybe that person was an anchor in something to get you somewhere, or they were the important conversation that could have made a phone call. They
Hmm.
identified that person was valuable to you, so they create something that fucks that relationship up. If you can realize in that moment, you're like, son of a bitch. Not only did I not think that, I just got your ass, motherfucker. This person's important. Now I know they're important, and I know you're hitting me. So you got to start identifying. If these thoughts starts coming in, automatically say, I do not authorize this. Whatever being is sending me this, I reverse this to you with karma. What I normally do is, do you get frequencies coming in your ears on a regular basis?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're an asset.
Big time.
So
Like I
what
hear it.
that's it's programming. So the
Yeah.
moment I start hearing the tones, I say, I only accept constructive suggestions, and I say return to sender times 1,000 with prejudice. So that's taking the intentions of whatever being is sending that to you, and you're psychically marrying it back to them times 1,000 with prejudice. If it's good, if it's something for, if it's for constructive purposes, constructive means it helps you. If it's not, it's mirrored back to them times 1,000 intention with prejudice. So if it's good, you're sending them back 1,000 times more love than they sent. If it's bad, you're amplifying that negative shit 1,000 times back to them, and you have to see it short circuiting their systems and hurting them
Hmm.
because they're literally hurting you. These are government assets.
Yeah.
They want to harm you. They would prefer that you're dead. You got to start acting like it. So again, I only react to. I'm glad this is recorded. That's why I like to record consults for people because we talk about so much profound shit in conversations, man. And people, it's just like I can't remember none of this. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just had an amazing conversation with Matt, and I'm like, I only remember like certain parts because it's like so much powerful shit that comes forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. There's been a lot of paranormal things where I'm having trouble understanding if this is like a positive upgrade or is this a targeted attack? And I don't know to trust it or not. Like your intuition, I guess, is how you know, but I'm not really sure.
it's going to take you a long time to develop a psychic shield where you can interpret what is coming from you and what is coming from others in a bad way. Is you first have to identify those patterns, kind of like these are not my thoughts. I would never say this about this person or think this kind of racial slur in my mind. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is that about? Like,
Yeah.
seriously?
Yeah, no, that's what it was. Like I actually said it. It was like she's Asian and I made like a weird Asian like making fun of an Asian sound. And I'm like, I would never do that in my entire life. Like it
Yeah,
was
so that you know that that was the worst thing that you could have done to somebody who is an Asian in America, like to be that
yeah,
stereotype and do that.
I would
That's
never
like
say
that,
that.
that's kind of like blackface, but not being in the military. Like I've done blackface, but I was also in combat. So like putting black makeup on is how we fucking disappear. So
Yeah.
it's not racist, but like
It's like they're
that's like
controlling my mouth. Like I didn't say it. It wasn't me.
exactly.
So freaking
So,
weird.
so if you identify again these patterns, now you know this is the blueprint. Remember, you're the blueprint, you're the creator of a lot of this stuff. So you have to understand the pattern. Once you identify the pattern, the moment it happens, you realize it instantly. You're like, you know what? I don't need to continue this conversation. I need to walk away right now. No, thank you. Because you're seeing the intention and who they are and who's puppeteering them, but it takes time to see the patterns. And once you start seeing the patterns, you start getting the 22, like I said, because now you're starting to become the master builder. You're starting to see that everything around you is your creation because the thoughts create your environment. So if you're thinking about all the financial burdens weighing down on your shoulders, it has to physically weigh down your physical avatar. And your avatar doesn't even exist. So the feelings that you're feeling aren't even real.
Yeah.
So you can hack the matrix by hacking your thoughts, by changing your thoughts.
Hmm.
Because remember, injuries are a product of thoughts building up in energy, and then it manifests into physical matter.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, one person that helped me out, there's another person, she actually met you before, Amy Starseed. I don't know if you know her, but she
What's
met
your last
you.
name?
She goes by Amy Starseed.
Doesn't sound familiar.
She does these big crystal like crown pieces that she makes, like this big chakra jewelry. I don't know.
Maybe if you send me a photo of her. I'm good with faces. I'm not good with names because of my traumatic brain injury. I'm really bad with names and like long-term memory.
Yeah, yeah, gotcha.
It's a
Well,
struggle for me. So when I read a book, I got to read the page 3 or 4 times.
yeah.
You know?
I don't, I think maybe she just briefly met you. I don't know if you guys really know each other like that, but
Yeah.
she came out to the ranch to help me because this is the next part of my like my healing journey was to get the entities removed. And when she was doing it, she was pulling them out of the injury point, like they were coming out. And she told me that I chose this. This is why I thought it was karmic. She told me that these injuries were part of my plan, that I chose this in this lifetime, that this was supposed to happen.
We are told that with QHHT because what happens is you have a pattern of probability throughout lifetimes. Matt is generally the same person throughout lifetimes. Like the person we are in this life is a combination of who we've been in other lifetimes. So if you feel like you're a powerful person, but you're not in a place of power, that's because you've been in a position of power numerous times and you have problem with struggling with people above you because the way they treat you, they act like they're your they're you're the slave and they're your owner or they're your daddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And people like us, we don't like people talking down upon us because there's nothing higher than us. We created all this.
yeah,
Does that make sense? They don't have these powers.
yeah.
We're
Because I've always
we're
run my own businesses.
exactly creators. We typically have to create. We have to be artists. And what they
Hmm.
do is they target creators and put them in non-creative jobs and careers like accounting, and then you never wake up because the numbers keep you immobilized and addicted to numbers, which causes alcoholism, high divorce rates, extreme depression. And
Yeah.
you can't wake up if you're depressed. You only focus on all the trauma and problems and the financial burdens and the numbers. So
Yeah.
it's not possible to ever wake up. And that's how they trick us.
That's what I had, depression and alcoholism. I was drink beer all the time, but I quit. It's been like a year, but I've been worked on it for years. And my awakening took
Yeah,
a,
so awakenings are not allowed if you're an alcoholic. It's designed to, it's like a throttle. It throttles you down so you can't wake up. It keeps you in this
yeah.
emotional loop
Yeah. The
that
drinking was,
originates to one moment in your life. It was one moment in their life that made you drink.
it was
And
the pain.
usually,
It was the injury.
yeah. So you know what it was like. You never escaped that loop for the longest time, did you? It
Mm.
just kept repeating like Groundhog Day. It's like you're fucking Bill Murray. And
Yeah.
it's like you feel that you can predict the future. You're like, I knew that was coming. I saw that coming. Because
Mhm.
you're in a loop. You're identifying the pattern of the bad guy coming at the end and how it was going to play out because you've been through it numerous times. They show that in the Matrix with the deja vu cat. And it showed that Neo has already been through that scene numerous times because at the very end of the Matrix, when he meets I forgot the title of what they called him. I think they called him the architect. He showed that Neo has been there 30 to 50 to 100 times already, over and over again. But he's never beat the level one bad guy. So he keeps having to repeat the same storyline over and over, predicting his future, knowing it was going to turn out this way because he's already experienced it that way.
Mm.
But he never beat the level.
Mm. So it's possible that I've been stuck here for a while.
You've chosen to give up the things that were causing you to be asleep. And now you're starting to wake up for the first time, and this is just the beginning.
Mm.
Maybe you've made a contract to be asleep for so long, and the injuries could have been an agreement because your probability showed that you are easily distracted and you focus your life on other shit that doesn't include awakening. If that's consistent throughout your lifetimes, then that's the probability where they assume you're going to keep doing the same shit. Just like Einstein says, doing the same shit 1,000 times, expecting a different result is called insanity.
Yep.
So we're all caught in this illusion that is a collective delusion. And we're all insane because we keep repeating the same cycles over and over and over, and we can never escape them because we keep doing the same addictions, we make the same choices over and over and over again. And by default, it can never produce a different result until you hit bottom. Once you hit bottom, then you're forced with this is never going to end. This is how I'm going to die. I'm going to regret this for the rest of my life unless I change. You had that cathartic moment. You stop drinking. Now you're starting to become more clear. Colors might become more vivid. You might have connection to things that you never were connected to in your life, and you can see the smallest things in life now.
Hmm.
That lets you know you're waking up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Can I ask you about the Venus situation?
What about it?
The Venus situation?
What's the Venus situation?
Did you see that photo that I sent you in the email?
Where was it?
Well, it was, you might not have seen it. It was, I sent it later, so it was kind of at the end. But I sent you a photo of this, what I call a mystical experience, and I'm trying to figure out what this was and what it meant. Have you ever heard of the Aetherius Society?
Mm-mm.
So I'll send you the link. These guys are pretty incredible. I found out about the society during my awakening, and that's where I met Alina. That was the first time we met. I brought her there, and during this time, I had kept going out to the desert with my best friend, and I had this dream, this premonition, this dream that was sending me out to a specific type of place in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
So we followed the symbols of my dream, and we went out. and it was during a double meteor shower. And we went on top of the sand dunes in the Mojave Desert, and we were watching the Milky Way, taking photos, doing astrophotos, seeing like weird orbs in the sky. We don't know if they're planes or if they're UFOs or satellites. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes, but it looked like they're UFOs. And as we come back down to our camp, we saw we didn't know at the time, but it was Venus rising. It was very low on the horizon, but it was like the brightest thing I've ever seen in my life. And we immediately were like, holy crap, that's a UFO. Like we just were like freaking out, like staring at it, and it had these
Yeah, yeah.
giant
I did see
wings.
this. Yeah, yeah, I did see this video. I'm watching it right now. So yeah, yeah, it showed it all moving and stuff like that. Yeah, that was definitely a form of contact.
Like, but it was a planet. It was Venus. So how does that work? But it had these giant,
If it
like,
was moving, it was not Venus.
well, it was
Your star
glistening.
map, your it was what?
It was glistening. So there was like these crystalline wings of like radiating light
Was
coming,
it like
coming.
rainbow colored where it would flash between colors and shit?
Yeah.
So that was a message for you. Okay,
Yeah.
so remember when I was saying that you weren't at the frequency to see them? The perfect analogy is you've heard of CE5 contacts with Dr. Stephen Greer, the CE5 protocols.
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine we get 150 people on a beach. Let's say Clearwater Beach, 40 minutes from me, right? We'll just say Clearwater Beach. Amazing, cool place. Out of those 150 people, there might be no more than 30 people that'll see ships in the sky that are everywhere. And everybody else will say, I don't see nothing. And you'll show it to them. You'll zoom in with your camera and you're like, right, it's right here. And you're like, I don't see anything.
Yeah.
It's because they're not at the frequency alignment to be authorized to see it. So, like I
Right.
said earlier, your younger years, they were always in the sky. They're always in the sky, man. There's more freaking light orbs and ships in the sky. If you saw how many are actually in the sky, it would freak you out
Yeah.
because it would also show you the beings that are surrounding you, walking around all the time. That's physically in your room and in your vehicle and in your job that are just everywhere. It would freak everybody out.
Yeah. Well,
So
this
we
was
have different
definitely
levels of awakening.
right. I'm totally with you on that, but this was definitely Venus though, because I have a star tracker and we figured it out and we saw it like when the sun started rising, it just kept rising in the sky and then it wasn't glistening anymore. But when it was glistening, I've seen Venus rising. I'm an astrophotographer, so I've seen it. I know what it looks like. This was totally different. And it threw down this green wave of energy that was like waving through the sky, coming towards us, and then it hit our full third eye, like went right into us. And my friend, we're both standing there. My friend looks at me. He's like, do you see these green light coming down from Venus right at us? And there's little glyphs in it that look like ones and zeros and like they look like light language flowing through it. And it like went into our body. He mentioned it first. And then I didn't think that he was going to see it. I thought I was just seeing it, but he said it. And I'm like, this is insane. What is happening? So what was that? Coming from
Probably it
Venus.
was a transmission from Venus from your star family. That doesn't mean you're from Venus. It could mean that somebody that needs you to have that message is physically on Venus and it's being shown however you see it.
Yeah.
So that's a real transmission. You can start asking remote viewers what it was.
Hmm.
You need a QHAC. That needs to be one of the things. If you ever got a QHAC session from me in person or with another person, ask them to show you what that was.
Like, what was the message?
It was downloads.
Yeah, it was a download. Like, I had an abduction like the week later in my room. Like, in my dream, it was like a whole crazy energy flowing through my head, going down my body. And I woke up frozen again, and it was happening in my room. And I saw shit like all around me, like right after.
And see if it was a screened memory. When I say that, it doesn't mean it's fake. It means that there's missing time that's associated with that experience. So
Mm.
you and your friend could have been abducted at that moment. And you could have
Um,
been gone for a good amount of time, but it was only a second to you. And it would have been like, it would have felt different. You would have just immediately felt weird or like something you can't explain, but so would your friend. And you wouldn't have questioned, did we just lose time? Were we abducted? You wouldn't have felt that. It would have just been like, you ever lose time when you're driving and then you snap back to and you're like, Where the fuck have I been? I don't remember. I'm missing 10 miles. Where the fuck was I? How did I not crash my car?
Not about 10 miles, but I used to always like get like it would be difficult for me to drive before I moved to LA where I would be driving and I would get it was almost like a wave of like energy trying to make me pass out and I couldn't fight it. Nothing I do to wake me up. And my third eye would like go on, whatever I was thinking, and I would see it. And I wouldn't be able to see anything in the road. And I would pass out and I'd wake up almost like crashing and dying. It would happen all the time.
Most of the time, when I lose time, it's only when driving.
Yeah.
I feel like I was pulled while I was driving and I was reinserted, and I'm having to reorient myself and be like, what was that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
That used
that's
to
the
happen
only
all the
time I
time.
ever lose time. I do not lose time in regular life, of waking life. I don't lose time at all. Only when I'm fucking driving. That is a phenomenon.
Yeah. What is that?
They
Never
can
heard of it.
freeze time. They can literally freeze you in the middle of the intersection and pause time, pull you, have you in a deep underground military base for 2 days, put an implant in you, remove some memories, give you some screen memories, and reinsert you back at the moment they fucking took you and hit enter. And then it's more like reorientation. You're like, what? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So if you
Interesting.
get the QHHT session, ask the higher self to show you what happened.
Yeah.
Remember, certain practitioners, they don't know how to push the issue. Sometimes the higher self will say, nothing happened. There was no loss of time. But that could have been a handler that's acting as a higher self. And then the practitioner moves on because there's nothing to question because the alleged higher self said nothing happened.
Yeah.
People like me, I'm not that stupid. I'll force it. I'm known to get information that a lot of people cannot get because I
Mhm.
specialize in memory retrieval. That's dangerous, especially for assets. People like they target me all the time. I'm surprised I'm not dead yet.
Yeah.
And I say it all my interviews. If I get murdered for this, it was worth it.
Hmm.
Like I'll be the fucking next Max Spears that wakes as many people up as I can because I served with Max Spears. I don't know if you know that name, but if you don't, you'll know who Max Spears is in the future.
Yeah, I've been hearing about him on the podcast, but I don't know that much about him.
He was the number one most famous super soldier that ever lived. Before all
Mhm.
the super soldiers were talking, Max was like the first one that made it publicly known where people accepted it as a reality for the
Yeah.
first time in history. And then they killed him for it.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, like all the military people in my family, they're all dead. They're not even around to be able to like ask them about this or if they know, they
Yeah,
wouldn't
it's kind
talk
of like
about
the
it.
checklist. If you come from a military family, that's a big fucking check mark that you're in the programs. It's usually the one of the parents almost every time. And usually there's some kind of form of abuse in the childhood. It could be physical, it could be rape, it could be mental abuse. A lot of times, I can't say it always comes from the father because it can also be the controlling mother,
Hmm.
but they won't even be aware that they're in the programs too because they have the same memory loss that you do, the same programming. And we see that people in the programs, it also involves their parents. They're not just this anomaly that just was chosen at this time in their entire biology of genetics and timeline of their family tree, that they're
Hmm.
not the first, that it's actually a bloodline that they're hijacking because that bloodline they need to produce certain types of beings. And if you incarnate into that specific bloodline, then almost everyone's targeted.
Hmm.
Because when you're in a certain bloodline, you have certain genetic powers that are dormant in your DNA that they can then torture you in a military facility to activate these powers, kind of like the X-Men. All of us were tortured as kids to activate our DNA to see what extraterrestrial power we all possess, because every being contains a power that you've accumulated or earned throughout all of your incarnations you've ever had. It could be that this is a power from your source planet, and only beings from that source power planet has those specific abilities. So they target you again when you enter that lotus field, that matrix. You're targeted immediately, and if they miss you, if you installed a code like we do, where we can get past the sensors, where it shows you who you are and how you would be considered an HVA or a high value asset where they target you from the beginning. Some of us get through. And then the school system's designed to identify the ones that got through the psionic sniffers through the talented and gifted program. So if you were in the talented and gifted program, again, that's another sign that you're in the programs. A large percentage of kids that were in tag are assets. And it was
Yeah.
designed by the military to identify the special ones with powers.
Yeah, I wasn't, not that I remember. I wasn't in that
Some of
program.
us that were in it have no memory of being in it. We have cover
Yeah.
memories where we're told we were regular kids with no special acuity, or we never got into college because we weren't smart enough. It's all cover. A lot of it's
Mhm.
cover memories. So again, start learning QHHT, man. This is the beginning. It's unlimited. You can learn about yourself. You can learn about the cosmos, what God is, what this creation is, and there's no limitations, man.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's been on the list. That's something I want to do.
Do it. I would love to see you start practicing, man, because like
Mhm.
this is the time. Like, don't put it off. Don't get into old age because this is one of the most highest things you can do for the planet. One of the biggest contributions you can do as a soul is to do this for other people to help release their trauma and heal others, to help them remember who they are before they were put into this vale of forgetfulness.
Mhm.
Do you have any
Yeah.
other questions I can answer? We're about an hour and 20 in right now.
Oh, one thing I remembered when I was in my childhood when all the abductions were happening is that I felt like something in my like under my nipple, like it was hard, like there was like something in there. Does that seem like a normal type of implant, or is that some kind of weird just physical anomaly?
No, that's the normal location for an implant.
Like right in the nipple?
Yeah, you have to understand that the nipples are they're a symbol of nurturing. So if you've put up a wall throughout your lifetime where you don't trust people or you don't fully express that love and you withhold it a lot because of maybe some trauma, your eyes are telling me you've done that. It's just like you're telling me right now, I feel it in my body that you have done that. So
Yeah.
that's what it's designed to do. It's designed where you can't just truly love without expectations and give that love freely. They've done the same thing to me. It's hard for me to tell people that I love them.
Yeah.
I've had to learn it throughout my adulthood. I'm 46 now, and now I can be with somebody and tell them that I love them. But it was always hard for me to say it because, like, I've been traumatized and tortured my whole life. So, like, a lot of us, we were atheists for the longest times because if we went through all this trauma, every time we were tortured and raped, every time we screamed out for God, God never showed up.
Yeah.
So that can make a really bad person. So they it makes you put up a wall, and that causes your own de-evolution. It causes energy to start building up, becoming physical weight. You might go through a weight gain out of nowhere because it can be a form of protection, putting up walls, and sometimes the weight don't go away and it becomes like a physical barrier. But the
Mm.
subconscious reason is you're blocking your heart. You might see that Alina had to maybe do something to your heart chakra because you said she did some realignment stuff. If she
Mm.
worked on your heart, odds are that's what that's for. It's to dislocate that heart chakra because, again, when women start getting breast cancer, one of the side effects, something we hear on a regular basis with women is they stopped being loved. They're in a relationship where they've been in for a long time and it's not really love based anymore. It's more like living with a roommate. There's no real true emotion and love connection, and there might be a lack of sex. And what that does to a woman, it's kind of like her love center is her breast. She nourishes, she sends love out that way, just like you do. You're both male and female. We're only a male in this lifetime, just in this one lifetime. We're all beings, we're all sexes, we're all colors, we're all races. Depending on what you want to evolve into, you take on these challenges. Kind of like if you're a male when you predominantly want to be male in life, they force you to be a female. in another life.
Hmm.
And you don't feel like a female, you feel like a man. So you start cutting your hair off. You start wanting to look like a man because your soul is a man. That's what you identify as. So imagine forcing a woman into the body of a man. That would make that man more homosexual. Because remember, it's the feminine energy, that caring, nurturing femininity. You put that into a man, it's not compatible. So that's where that homosexuality comes from. It comes from beings that sometimes are forced into the opposite sex. And of course, you're not going to identify with the body you're in because that's not who you are energetically. But you have to experience duality. You have to be both male and female, both gay and straight. You have to know every possibility of every existence because that's what Source wants to know. What am I capable of? Therefore, there are no limitations, period. Do
Hmm.
what thou wilt, bad or good. Because good and evil, it's not bad or good, it's duality. You're allowed to go to whatever polarity you want to the extreme because this is a free will universe. And that's how they control us. They keep us in the addictions. That's it. That's the secret, man. Get
Yeah.
rid of your addictions, write down your traumas and triggers, start facing them, start forgiving the people that harmed you. And that doesn't mean directly. You can write down the person that harmed you, the person you know what I'm talking about, Matt. It's the
I,
person you think about the most throughout your lifetime. That's probably from decades ago, right?
yeah.
Write down in a notebook everything you want to say to them. There's no difference between telling them to their face and telling it on paper because you're telling it to that being. Write down everything you have to say, truly fucking let it go and forgive them. Because if
Yeah.
you don't, you got to repeat it the same level again.
Yeah.
You are keeping yourself here in the trauma by holding it in, by withholding your heart. Let it go. Forgive them. You never have to even talk to them. Understand they taught you something. If they took something from you, look what it did for you. It made you stronger. It taught you a lesson how to not fall for that shit no more, right?
Hmm.
So they made you more powerful than you were before you knew them, right? They
Yeah.
took something from you, but you also gained a power from it. Thank
Mhm.
them from what they taught you.
Yeah.
Forgive and release, let it go. And when you're done, burn the pages and mean it. You're going to realize after you do that, dude, it'll set you free, man. Opportunities will
Uh,
start opening up because you're removing the cycle, that infinity loop. An infinity loop is the matrix. We're caught in the cycles that never change. That's why we can predict the rise and fall of all civilizations like clockwork. The
hmm.
rise of civilizations always never last. Over and over and over, we can do it down to the numerical value of the repetitious part of it every couple of thousand years. It's a cycle.
Yeah.
We're caught in a cycle. That's it.
Yeah. I was just doing that. I didn't write it down, but I was saying it when I was driving across country by myself to move here. I was in the middle of New Mexico in the middle of nowhere, and there was like orbs that were following me from all the places I was camping out at. And this one, the orbs were like 50 feet away from me. They were right there, two of them glowing right in front of me. And I was getting a message to do that. And I sat down there and I like forgived everybody that did me wrong. And I said it and I forgive them. I love them. And I forgive myself for the things
That's the
that I did
biggest
wrong.
part. That was the smartest thing you could have ever did because we never forgive ourselves.
Hmm.
Because you have to forgive yourself for never letting it go.
Yep.
Because remember, if this was just a video game, why are you taking it so literal if it's just a video game? Like the
Yeah.
person cutting you off in traffic. If your reaction is to want to yell for just a second or honk at them, remember you're playing Grand Theft Auto and you just got upset for a computer program cutting you off that probably doesn't even exist. And it's
Hmm.
just a computer program.
Yep.
Use that in an analogy for living life from this point on. If someone's
Hmm.
coming at you with drama, you're responsible for how you react. If you stop reacting, the negative problems start coming because they start losing effect. It can't affect you anymore. So you notice the toxic people just start disappearing in your life because you no longer fall for the shit. You never give it the energy to create that cycle again. You stop it.
Yep. That's the power right there.
It's amazing. Like I'm smiling because that's the fucking secret.
Yeah.
Identify it's the pattern. Realize that if you keep contributing to it, you continue it yourself. It's your fucking fault. You're the person to fucking blame. Stop blaming other people because you're choosing to continue that shit by keeping the conversation going, by keep thinking about it, by keep putting that emotional energy in it. So shame on you, man.
Hmm.
Shame on you for falling for a freaking video game program.
Yeah. Yep.
Just remember, you created the video game, so wake the fuck up knowing that's how you trap the avatars. Stop acting like an avatar. Be the creator.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. Is there any other questions that I can answer real quick before we leave?
I think we're good, man. Thank you for all the insight. I really appreciate it.
Honestly, this is a really good conversation, man, because like that's what QHHT is going to do for you. You're going to come to so many awesome conclusions you never would have done unless you had a conversation like this. It's like I said
Yeah.
earlier, I'm like, holy shit, it is a tesseract. It is a cube. It actually proves my hexagon lattice AI matrix construction. Holy shit.
Oh,
You never
that's
would have
right.
had it unless you talked to yourself like you're talking to yourself right now, man.
Yeah.
I am you and you are me. I'm not separate from you. So it's like your enemy. Your enemy's you. You hate your enemy, but you're only hating yourself because you don't see that you are all the beings in the universe. You
Hmm.
are the ocean, you are the wind, and you are the 55-mile-an-hour stop sign when it should be 75 miles an hour. So stop cursing the 55-mile-an-hour stop sign because the stop sign is you. I'm sorry, the speed sign is you.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
That'll liberate your soul from that point on because you're going to see that everything is a side effect of your own thoughts and you manifest all of reality.
Yep.
Let's follow each other on Facebook, man. I hope I see you again and shit and we can interact because this is a good conversation. It needs to be continued, man. Like
100%. I want to try and get down there. I'm really close in South Carolina, so it's like an easy flight.
that's a pretty fast flight. So
Yeah.
make it a priority for yourself, man. Set your soul free, man. Like it's up to you where you take this.
Yeah.
So I hope
Yeah.
there's a lot of awakening information in this conversation and like, please God, start doing QHHT. Start doing this with Alina. Start bouncing ideas off and offering sessions with each other and see where it goes, man. It's gonna set your ass on fire. Your
Yeah.
soul, you're gonna feel a purpose that you haven't felt in your entire life, and that's what you're desperate for.
Yeah.
You feel lost. I can feel it in your heart. You feel fucking lost.
Hmm.
And you feel that you don't have a life purpose anymore. And this is what it's for. This is to put you on that life path to show you that you can do the things you never thought were possible. And you, again, were the only person holding you back.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to recycle.
Plus the handlers. We identified that with the thoughts. So understand there's a supernatural thing holding you back from achieving that. Because remember, this is a video game. You're going to have a program that's going to prevent you from trying to complete the level. And that's what the different levels of difficulty is. Everybody wants to play at level one, but people like us are playing at level five difficulty with me, which means that people are puppeteering us, making sure we don't see the door of that next level. So just use
Yeah.
that as an analogy.
Hmm. 100%.
All right, brother. When this uploads, I will send this to your email. You can keep this video. You can post it if you like. Honestly, I don't let people post a lot of consults, but this was a really good consult, and the information we talked about is like mind blowing.
Hmm.
So I'll leave it to you, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I probably will. I'm probably going to end up getting into doing more video conferencing and talking and getting involved. So we'll see where this goes.
I'm excited to talk to you from the year now and see if you got your ass in gear and what the hell you achieved. So this is the beginning, and I hope that this is it, man. Let's
Hmm.
see what the hell you're going to do with this now that you know the secrets of the universe.
Yep. Let's
All
do
right,
it.
man. Send me some more stuff, and if you have any more of those extraterrestrial videos, I'll definitely check them out, man. It's That's some good stuff. You should put that on your YouTube platform if you want to start talking to people.
Mm,
Put that evidence out. Put this conversation out, and that's what people's going to attract. That's
yeah,
You're going to attract your own soul family coming to you because you're stepping forward in your truth by becoming that truth by making this known to the public. So
yeah. I got a lot of videos. I've been collecting them, but I haven't posted any of them. So,
I think the main message here is it's time for you to start showing the public and to release any fears of any people judging you for having this alternative kind of belief. And whatever is preventing you from trusting that, let it go, forgive it, and just do it, man, because this is what you're here to do.
hmm yeah, sounds good.
All right, brother. It was a pleasure talking to you. It was awesome to have a face to face, man. And like I said, I think I definitely know you on the other side. I think it's obvious. And
Yeah,
we need to figure that out, and we need to figure it out with the QHHT session, either from me or from someone else. So when that happens, it's gonna be freaking mind blowing.
yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna make it happen.
All right, man. Until next time, it's good seeing you, man.
Have a good night, brother.